Hey guys, welcome back. I know I haven't made any new videos in the last 2 months. Yeah, so in this video, I just wanted to talk about my new product that I recently released on Creative Market, and it's another digital tie-dye brush set for Photoshop. So volume 3, it took me a while to actually create. It took me like maybe 2.5 months because I also work full-time, as you know. I really love creating digital tie-dye patterns, especially in Photoshop. There's so much fun to make. And I recently Googled digital tie-dye and was really surprised to find that I was the #1 and #2 spot on digital tie-dye. But yeah, it's really exciting to see my video trending on Google. So yeah, check it out. If you get a chance to look through some of the other videos I have here on my channel, you'll see that I have some other tutorials as well on how to create patterns in Photoshop. But in this video, I'm going to walk you through how to create digital tie-dye with this new brush set that I created, and hopefully give you some tips and tricks in Photoshop as well. Let's go ahead and get started. Hey, welcome back. So once you download the digital tie-dye brush set from Creative Market, it'll come in this zip folder, and so once you open that up, you should see the brushes file. It's a .abr file. You should also get a PDF guidebook, and I'll show you what that looks like right now. You should get something that looks like this. And the next page, I just have this 1-page brush guide just to give you a good idea of what's included in the set. And then I just briefly go over how to install your brushes in Photoshop, as well as links to find me online. Let's try to create a pattern that looks like this. Say, for example, you did have a Society 6 shop or a RedBubble shop, and you wanted to create a tapestry or just something that you want to hang on your wall, like any kind of wall art. Also, this is a pattern that I actually don't even sell online. So this is something that I just like quickly mocked up just for this product. So to create something like this, I would actually start out in Photoshop. We can go to File, New, and I would try to go for a higher pixel count. I typically do something like 3500 by 3500 just to start off with. I mean, you can always go down. So if you're going to go higher in pixel size, I would go down 72 dpi for the web. And now we have this. As you can see, this is a little bit more square. So now that we have this square version, I wanted something a little bit whiter. I would go back to image size. We want to unlink this, otherwise it's going to make it the same for the height as well. So what I would do is increase the size of the width. So I would do maybe 4200, click OK. And so now we have something a little bit whiter. For the layers, I would also double click this so that it's unlocked, and then we can always like create more layers above it. If you're creating a digital tie-dye pattern, I would suggest putting each of the brushes in separate layers so that you can move them around, change the layer blend mode so that it's easier. We're going to create a pattern that we can use for a tapestry or maybe like a print hang on our wall. This is my inspiration image right here. I really love these colors. So what I'll actually do is I'll open this in Photoshop and I'll just drag it there. And so that way I'll have 2 tabs open. I'll have my actual workspace canvas here, and then I'll have this reference image. So I want to color sample some of these colors because I really love the way they go together. So I'll click on I for the eyedropper tool, and I'll sample the turquoise, and then I'll press X on my keyboard and sample another color, which I'll do with the fuchsia. And so now that I have my 2 colors, so now that we're here, we can choose a different color. For this one, I think I want to just go with black so that the colors will pop against it. For my first brush, I'm actually going to choose, and we experiment. I am thinking more of the fuchsia and probably a little bit more of the blue, and then we'll have the turquoise pop just a little bit in the center. You usually choose any of these rings, and they're all sorts of different kinds. So if you wanted something a little bit more solid, so I would suggest putting it on the layer at the top, choosing a layer above the background layer, and let's go ahead and lock that one so that we don't accidentally paint on it. We'll paint on the the very top layer. So this one I chose the spiral solid, and so you can kind of get an idea of like the different brushes that I've created. So this one's a little bit more solid. So this one's a little bit more transparent in some of the areas here to break it up a little bit. You can do this one, and what I actually did is Command T to transform, and then just hold down the corners, enlarge it just a little bit, and then, you know, we do this to move it around. And so with tie-dye, I find that I don't like putting it right dead in the center. So I'll have it up here to the corner, and you can even decrease it. The second thing I want to do is we'll go on another layer, press X so that we get the turquoise color, and then we'll just go ahead and paint that. So this is the same brush we're working off of. Now what I'll do is I'll flip this, flip vertical. So you can kind of see how it'll change a little bit. So this one I want to flip again horizontal. So here we have this going this way in the other direction, and we can increase the size. I would probably increase it just a little bit more. And you can always move the layers above each other. So for the turquoise one, let's see how it looked. If I moved it up a little bit, we can keep moving it until we like the way it looks. See how this one's a little bit shorter? So I created this other brush. You can do this half teeth solid. You can even do the transparent ones. We'll create a new layer and just brush it in like that, and then we'll move it up, and so that way you can get a little bit more. There's no right or wrong way to do this. These tie-dye brushes that I create are a little bit more modern. They're not going to be true to your traditional way of doing tie-dye pattern. For this one, we can either choose a smaller one so that we can fill this black area, or we can even choose these random splatters. So if I wanted to add this, and then we can use the left and right brackets on our keyboard to increase or decrease the size of the brushes. If I wanted to add that there, I'll just undo that one and do the fuchsia color. We can definitely add different kinds of shapes. So I love the way the colors start looking when I either put them above some of the shapes here, do a different layer blend mode. So if we wanted to do like a color burn, multiply, you can see that it's a little bit more blue. And we can go back to our reference image and maybe reference this blue color here. Seeing how the colors blend together is really like the fun part for me. Anyway, this process of creating, it's always going to be different. And to also kind of allow yourself to be creative and not get so hung up, we can also choose other brushes. So this one is a circular spiral short. So if you just paint that in, for example, we wanted to, I just clicked on Control click on my keyboard. I have a Mac, probably going to be a right click, and then what I wanted to do was to flip it horizontal to see what it would look like if I added it here, and if I increase the size of this brush. We can also do a different blend mode here. So if we did multiply, it's going to look a little bit different versus like color burn. You can try that. We can even duplicate that layer so you can see where it's going. And then trying different kinds of brushes here. It's kind of fun when they start overlapping. I would suggest playing with the shape, playing with the placement of where these are going to go. Also changing the layer blend mode, rearranging the layers so that you can get different kinds of effects. That's really my secret. That's all there is to it. For example, if I wanted to choose this one, and I have like fill-in shape just so that like, well, this one here on the bottom, the blue one, it's a little bit short. If I just painted the blue in, and this is on a separate layer, and I did Command T to transform and make it go this way. I can even increase the size of the brush. For this one, I'm just going to go ahead and do a time lapse, and then we'll talk about the design at the very end. And there you have it. So this is the pattern that I came up with. I could still change some of the layers around. I could move some of the shapes if I wanted to, but I'm pretty satisfied with how this turned out. So I'll go ahead and save as. We'll do a JPEG. I actually want to show you how to upload it onto RedBubble. So if you have a RedBubble shop, or you're thinking about creating a RedBubble shop, this is typically the process of uploading artwork onto your shops in RedBubble. once you open up your shop, you'll have an actual add new work right here. If you're logged in, you can just go ahead and add new work, upload all product, and upload this one. I like to make it like a really big size so that it can translate over to different products. I would creating it really big once, and then you can always size down later. On these ones here, you can see that it's not as big as it says it is. Go ahead and go back and save this out as a bigger size. So I'll go to image size, and let's go ahead and do 300. I actually had problems uploading. The size was a little too big. Now that I know what the file limitations are, I'm just gonna go back to image size. I'm gonna click on contain aspect ratio. Make sure that's clicked so that your image doesn't get disproportionate. So I'll do 5600 pixels and I'll click OK. So this should be okay. So now I'll save, and let's go ahead and re-upload that same file. Let's hope this one is actually big enough. Cool. Now it's finally uploaded. So this one you can see it's a little bit better. It translated over to some of the bigger products. Let's see what's going on with this one. Is still not as big as I thought it would be. I think maybe for the bigger products, I'm going to have to save a newer version. Like this one here, the graphic t-shirt dress. I guess the size needs to be a little bit bigger for that one, and for the scarf down here. And so the actual tapestries, I'll just increase the size just a little bit. So I'll go ahead and do 6500, and then I'll click OK, and then I'll save it as tapestry one. So now we'll just go ahead and edit these specific ones. So I'll go to replace image. It's still not big enough. So crazy. You see this option here where it says problems with your image size. It's going to give you dimensions for all of the products. If you just scroll down to home decor wall tapestries, so you can see here this is the actual size, 7632 by 6480 pixels. I'm actually going to have to redo it. I'm just going to do 8000 just to get on the safe side. So we'll click on OK, save. So now let's go back and re-upload this new image size that we actually saved. All right, so this actually finally fits, and do the same for the A-line dress, and then we'll replace it with that same image. Go ahead and upload it, and we'll do the same for this other graphic t-shirt dress here. So for the duvet, the size needs to be a little bit big, so I'll go ahead and upload that other size that I just resaved. And as well as for the scarf, the duvet looks really nice. I really like how that turned out, and even the leggings look good. Typically I don't do the leggings on RedBubble because I don't really like the way it looked. And there you have it. You can definitely find it on my RedBubble shop. I'm redbubble.com/Diane Pascal. Come find me. You can also search on RedBubble for the Gypsy Goddess. And if you have any questions on uploading work on RedBubble, or even how to use the digital tie-dye brushes from Creative Market, please feel free to let me know. All the links will be included below this video. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, enjoy creating, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.